Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hunter with Dalkey Forestry Services LLC, joined with our trusty companion, Echo the forestry dog, here today. She likes to camp out next to the desk. Oh, well, I work here and knock all the needles off our tree that's still up from Christmas. So you might see her head bob in and out of here as I talk. But today I wanted to make a video that if you stumbled upon this, you're probably searching something along the lines of how to start a tree service, how to start a tree company, how to start a tree business. I own and operate Dalkey Forestry Services, LLC, and we fill a niche in northern Minnesota of tree jobs that might be too large for regular tree services to handle or might involve more specific management techniques, but are too small for loggers to worry about. So along with that comes about a gazillion single tree removals and regular projects that any old tree service could handle. So I have quite a bit of experience handling just day-to-day tree service activities. So I wanted to create a video that would hopefully help others when they're looking to start their journey of how to start up their company, how to start up their business, because I've done it both ways. In my eyes, there are a couple different ways to go about starting a business, and we'll call those the quick and easy way and then the right way. And maybe neither of them are wrong, but depending on what your end goal is might depend how you want to go about starting your business and what steps you want to take. And the path just might look different depending on who you are and what your goals are, how old you are, do you have a family to support. So I kind of wanted to run through a couple of things and at least put my 2 cents out there. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that's going to watch this video and benefit quite a bit, even if I just give them something more to think about before they make that leap. So I've told you a little bit just briefly about myself, but I'll give you a little more background. I graduated from Big Fork, Minnesota, which is in Itasca County in northern Minnesota. And after I graduated high school, I went on to community college to study forestry and wildland firefighting, and graduated from community college and then went to a 4-year college, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And then I graduated with a 4-year degree in forest management. After that, I hopped around, worked for a bunch of different agencies. While I was going to college as well, I worked for different agencies. And eventually got out of college and knew that I was going to start my own business. I just didn't know what those steps looked like. So I kind of followed those steps at what I thought was the appropriate way to do it, and then launched Dalkey Forestry Services just about a year ago now. So we're going into our 2nd year of official operation. Now everything's on paper, or a big deal now, I guess you could say. And everything's going really well. We grew exponentially last year, and this year is looking to be just another phenomenal year. So I kind of, as I was looking back, I thought, man, if I only would have known the stuff I know now 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? And that's how it always works. If I only knew this a handful of years ago, I could have done so much better. So hopefully I can take some of the things that I've learned the past couple of years and pass that information along to folks that are thinking about starting their journey. So let's jump into it. I do take notes, and I keep notes on myself, so you'll see me looking down at the table. If I don't, I'm just going to ramble on forever. So bear with me. So the first thing you should ask yourself is, okay, you've made it this far. You're starting to ask the questions. How do I start a tree service or a tree company? How do I get started? How do I get going? I think you should ask yourself one big question first, which is, what does your end goal look like? And if you don't know, that's totally okay. But if you can figure that question out, you're going to be a lot better off from the get-go. So what does your end goal look like? What I mean by that is, are you doing this just to try and feed your family? Is your end goal, she's eating toys over there, is your end goal just to make a few hundred extra dollars a week to make ends meet at home, to put food in your kids' mouths, to pay the mortgage? Do you just need to make ends meet, and are you looking to make some money off doing something you already know how to do, or something that is readily available for work in your area? Are you trying to grow a large business? You know, are you a man or a woman who has great dreams about, you know, what a business really could be, and you just want to chase your dream, chase your goals? Then that plan might look slightly different than someone that's just trying to put some food on their table. Is your goal just to be self-employed? You know, maybe you don't have grand dreams about building $1 million business, but maybe you like the idea of working a few days a week for yourself and, you know, being able to set your own schedule and go to the beach when you want to go to the beach and work 12-hour days when you want to work 12-hour days. You know, maybe that seems appealing to you. And if so, you know, maybe somewhere in the middle is good for you. But to sit down and figure out where you want to be in the end will just help you exponentially. So let's talk about the first way that you can get into a tree service, that you can start your company. This is what we'll call the quick and easy way. Although sometimes it's not very quick and sometimes it's not very easy, it's quick and easy compared to doing things any other way. So with that, you can start very simply. You can start with a truck and a chainsaw. I've heard stories of folks, I'm on, you know, many Facebook pages for tree service owners, which, as a tidbit of information, is a wonderful thing for anyone to join that's thinking about starting their tree business. But anyways, I've been on those pages, and I've heard there was one story of one individual that really sticks in my mind, and I just assume this to be true, that he was telling the truth, because I feel like we all, you know, want to speak the truth about how we started. He said that he started with a hand saw, just like a silky hand saw, and then his climbing gear, and he was taking the bus in his city to tree jobs. So this man did not have a car, he did not have a truck, he just had a handsaw and some ropes and some climbing gear. You know, he had a few $100s worth of stuff, maybe less if he got it used off somebody, but he had a few $100s worth of stuff that he was going out and building his business with. And now, I assume, he runs a very successful business because he talks about some of his stuff, and it seems like he's graduated from the city bus and just his climbing gear. But for myself, I started with a truck and a chainsaw. My quick and easy, cheap and easy solution was, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was pretty sold on the idea that I'm going to start my business. And I knew I needed a few things. I knew that I would need a truck, a trailer, some chainsaws, and some other miscellaneous equipment. So I just made myself a checklist, and I said, okay, what can I do to get started? Well, first I'm going to need a way to get to the job site and to transport debris. And, you know, sure, I could take car, SUV, or my small truck, but I thought, you know, if I had a 3/4 ton truck, that's probably going to make the most sense for removing debris. So I saved up and I bought an older, higher mileage 3/4 ton, which I actually still have sitting out in the yard. It has just shy of 300,000 miles on it, and I'm really proud of it. But anyways, I bought that truck and I said, great, this is awesome. I already had a chainsaw. As soon as I got out of high school, I knew that I was going to be getting into forestry, into a tree service. I knew what I wanted to do. So I went out and I bought a Stihl 362. And at the time, I think after taxes, I was making right around $400 a week. You know, and then you pay your bills and you save for school. I was going to college at the time. You know, and you pay for fuel and da-da-da-da-da. I was not making very much a week. So I bought that Stihl 362, and I remember that I put it on my credit card because I was just shy of the money. So I took whatever money I had in savings and paid off the credit card right away. And then I needed a couple weeks worth of work, the little bit of cash that I saved each week, to pay that off before month end on that credit card. So I ended up buying the Stihl 362. I used that for some miscellaneous jobs that I didn't need to transport debris from. I'd cut firewood for people. I'd, you know, maybe just put in just a little rough trail through somebody's property. I actually helped my folks clear land where they have a nice big shed up now. I did things that didn't require me to remove debris. And that's why I got started with just a chainsaw. Then fast forward to what I was talking about, the pickup truck. I saved up. I bought the truck. And now I was kind of in business, I guess you could say. Great, I could go somewhere, I could cut trees, I could throw them in the back of my truck and get rid of them. It's a 3/4 ton truck with an 8-foot bed. So it's not like I'm hauling, 17 trees at a time, but I can make a tree and make it go away. It might take me a couple loads, but I can still get the job done. So that was my start to Quick and Easy. And, I was operating with no business insurance. I just had medical insurance on myself that was included in my parents' family plan that they had on me. So if I got hurt, I had to pay my $3,000 deductible, but I didn't have to worry about anything else, So yes, it was risky. It was a risk to people whose places I was working at. It was a risk to, myself not being covered under any sort of additional insurance. But I wasn't cutting trees near structures. I wasn't, working with anyone else on site. It was just myself. It was a young man trying to make money, trying to gain experience, trying to get his foot in the door to start something larger. So I was very careful not to take anything next to buildings, and I turned down a lot of work, unfortunately, because I wasn't ready yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just kind of knowing where you fit with your business at the time is really important. And as much as I would have loved to take on larger jobs at the time, I wasn't ready, and I didn't have everything lined up professionally to fill that niche of a larger business. So that was a Quick and Easy. And I went from the Quick and Easy and slowly graduated up to the doing it right side of the business. So soon after, that was, let's see here, that was going to be in about 2017, 2018 is what I just described to you. That's where I was kind of just starting to get out there and starting to do my own tree work. Fast forward now to 19 and 20, 2019, 2020. I was gaining experience and I knew I wanted to start my business, but I knew that I was going to have more money to do it correctly and more equipment to do it correctly. So in the spring of 2022, after I had spent a couple of years working different places, saving a ton of money, I bought my first starter home. I kind of got my feet underneath me and I felt established. You'll know that you never really grow up, but you feel like you've grown up and you feel like you've become established. So in the spring of 2022, then I decided, okay, now I'm actually ready to launch a business. I feel like I have some things ready to go and I'm going to launch my business. Let's do it right. So I started by buying a chunk of land. I have, in addition to the 20 acres that we live on now, which is an amazing home, I also own just shy of 2 acres that is just for business purposes. I drop brush and wood and I process firewood there and I burn my brush piles there just for business. In the spring of 2022, I bought a old crappy dump trailer. That was going to allow me to efficiently and more professionally remove brush from clients' houses. It made a lot of sense because you don't want to be handling everything twice. You can turn a 2-day job into a 1-day or less job by using a dump trailer and not having to handle everything twice. Makes a really big difference. But anyways, so starting with that additional equipment was one of the steps to doing things the correct way. So now when I'm sort of moving up and wanting to do things the right way, I have all the equipment that I need. I'm buying more chainsaws, more ropes, more things that will make it safer and more efficient and more professional to do the job that I'm trying to do. And then I got the 3 A's. You will hear many people talk about this when they talk about starting businesses, and I didn't think it was a big deal until I actually implemented it. So what are the 3 A's? The 3 A's are an accountant, an attorney, and an agent. So an insurance agent. So let's start with the first one, an accountant. What do you need an accountant for? Well, you need an accountant for bookkeeping, taxes, and to ask a gazillion questions as you kind of start your business. So it depends what your level of comfort with those things are. I wanted to do things 100% correctly on the books now that the business is actually, becoming official, I wanted to do everything right. So luckily, my fiance Allie, she's really proficient with bookkeeping side of things, but she's not with taxes. So we for sure needed an accountant to handle all of our taxes and just ask a lot of questions as we grow, because we don't know everything. But if you don't have someone to do your bookkeeping, or you're not proficient enough to do your bookkeeping, then your accountant can also, handle your bookkeeping as well. They can do everything for you. They can track everything if you want them to. You're just going to have to pay for it. But it's a lot easier than trying to learn how to do everything yourself, because you can't be everywhere all day at once. It just doesn't work. The next thing is an attorney. I actually got an attorney first and then an accountant. So an attorney, a lawyer, they helped me establish my business. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, exactly what I wanted to form, how I wanted to go about the steps, but I wasn't confident enough to form my own LLC. I wanted a professional to do it correctly. That way, if I ever had any problems, they're one phone call away. And, they can be by my side to help me with any legal troubles that I might have, to help me with, writing up a contract or a contract dispute, to help me really with anything that I have. I have them on my side. I have a lawyer, and that's it's a good comforting feature for me, knowing that, one, everything was filed correctly for the business to start, but then two, that I have somebody that has my back. So, an accountant, an attorney, an insurance agent. Holy moly. When I was, doing things the quick and easy, the quick and cheap way, I was trying to find my own insurance. For the first couple months that I started cutting trees on my own, I didn't carry any kind of insurance, because I was just doing things on four-wheeler trails and, in the middle of woods, and some light lot clearing and, firewood for folks. And it was just very minimal stuff. But as people asked me to do more, I saw, man, I should really get insured. I should do this correctly. So I shopped for my own insurance. It was super tough to find any actual commercial, professional, good, decent insurance. I just, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to do. It was just completely out of my realm. So I wasted a lot of time looking for that. Finding an insurance agent that actually had experience in my market, in my profession, was just a game changer for me. Now it's he called me the other day just to check in with me, to see, because him and we hadn't talked for a couple of weeks, and he was wondering kind of where I was at with the business and how things were going. And we shot the shit for 45 minutes, So now that I have an insurance agent, any questions I have, I can text him, I can call him, I can shoot him an email. He's right there ready to help me, ready to answer any questions that I need. We're looking at hiring employees next year, so he's helping me get all the insurance side of that figured out, and it's wonderful. I don't feel like I'm alone when I have questions. There are people who specialize in those things that are ready to help me in my business. And having those 3 A's, as they call them, has really been just the biggest help for me, and I'm so glad I decided to do that. I used to be someone that would say, wow, why would I pay somebody to do it when I can just do it myself? And I started to realize how valuable my time was and how valuable the company was, to where I didn't want to mess any of this stuff up. So that's kind of where we graduated to where we are now. And now we're doing things, 100% correctly. We have been the business was launched a little over a year ago, or about a year ago. I'm going into our second year now. So everything's perfect, and I'm really proud of where we're at. But those are just two different ways that you can ultimately do the same thing. You're starting a tree service with either one of those paths, but it's just, what's your long-term goal? Where do you want that business to be? Do you want it to be a business? Or do you want it just to be sort of a side hustle, a gig, just extra money? Because you can really do either or. There's still, every time the wind blows around here, there are a million guys with pickups, trailers, and chainsaws that come out of the woodwork to do storm cleanup. And that's great. Very few of them are insured, and they fill the need of the area when the area needs it. But there are many of us that are, professional insured tree services that, have gone through the trouble of doing it correctly and are here to stay. So really, there's no right or wrong, and there's nothing against one way or the other. It all boils down to, where you want to be and where you want the business to be. So I hope that helped, just a little bit. I know it's drawing off a lot of personal experience, but I hope that at least gives you something to think about, that there's no right answer, because you can search, how to start a business on YouTube, and they'll walk you through how to file for your own LLC, how to get your own insurance, how to file your own taxes. They'll talk to you all about that, but it can get kind of overwhelming. So know that you don't have to do it all alone, or you don't have to do it one specific way. You can tailor it to whatever helps you in your current situation. So I hope these few words, were something that are helpful for folks. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, or shoot me a message or an email, a text, a call, anything, even if you're not in my area, I'd be happy to help. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Our business is just growing by the month, and it's amazing. And I hope everyone can get to that, wherever they want to be, I should say. I hope that everyone can get their business to the level which they want and desire. So thanks for stopping by. This is Hunter with Dalkey Forestry Services, LLC, and I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you wouldn't mind. I'm slowly starting to do more videos now. I'm getting better with my editing. We cover everything from tree removals next to cabins, to large-scale management projects, setting things up to be logged, putting in four-wheeler recreation trails, habitat improvement in the Northwoods here. We operate primarily in the northern half of Itasca County in Minnesota, and we dip over to some of the other counties as well, and further south when we need to for some bigger projects. So I appreciate you guys' time and hope you found this video useful. Thanks for stopping by.